You're the first one to jump in when a light goes off. You're starting IVs for the new grads, turning patients, and answering every call bell, all while trying to manage the flow of the entire unit. You call it leading from the front. You think you're earning your team's respect by showing them you're still in the trenches. But here's the cold, hard truth. While you're busy being the best bedside nurse on the floor, no one is actually leading the unit. You aren't being a hero. You're being a bottleneck. And that is exactly why you are exhausted, resentful, and on the fast track to burnout. Today, we're going to dismantle the leading from the front myth and find a more sustainable way to command. Pillar 1, the cerebral versus manual shift. As a charge nurse, your value has shifted. It moved from your hands to your head. When you are elbow deep in a complex dressing change because you wanted to help out, you lose your peripheral vision. You can't see that 2 admissions just hit the board, pharmacy is backed up, and another nurse is quietly drowning in room 12. Leadership requires elevation. If you are in the front with your head down, you are blind to the coming storm. Respect isn't earned by doing your team's job. It's earned by making sure they have everything they need to do their job safely. Pillar 2, the strategic presence model. So if you aren't doing the manual labor, what are you doing? You are practicing strategic presence. This means instead of doing the task, you are anticipating the friction. Instead of starting the IV, you are the one calling the IV team or grabbing the ultrasound so the nurse can stay with their patient. Instead of taking a full patient load, you are rounding on the nurses to identify who is 30 minutes away from a meltdown. In the clinical leadership compass, we call this holding the north. You stay at the high point so you can navigate the whole ship. When you stop doing, you start seeing. Pillar 3, empowering versus enabling. There is a fine line between supporting your team and enabling a lack of growth. When you lead from the front by doing the hard tasks for your staff, you are subtly telling them, I don't trust you to handle this. True leadership is standing beside them while they do it. It's coaching them through the crisis, not taking the wheel. This builds a resilient unit that functions even when you aren't there. If the unit falls apart the second you sit down to do paperwork, you haven't built a team, you've built a dependency. The Ellis Grey secret, the power of the clipboard. Here is my controversial secret. Carry a clipboard or a tablet, even if you don't think you need it. Why? Because it's a physical signal to your brain and your team that you are in observation mode, not task mode. It reminds you to keep your head up. When you feel that urge to jump in and do a manual task, look at your clipboard. Ask yourself, is this the best use of the unit leader's time right now? Usually the answer is no. The wrap-up. Join the lounge. Mindset shifts are the hardest part of the evolution from nurse to leader. You have to let go of the identity of the worker to become the architect. But you don't have to navigate that identity crisis alone. This is exactly what we discuss every week inside the Leadership Lounge. It's where we strip away the super nurse cape and talk about the real strategy of clinical command. If you're ready to stop the burnout and start leading with intent, click the link below to join the Clinical Leadership Compass course. You'll get the curriculum, the scripts, and most importantly, your lifetime access invite to the lounge. Stop doing, start leading. I'll see you in the lounge.